Hey guys, so I had a bit of time on my hands and I thought it would be an interesting one to just go over some of the mistrades that I have. So, yeah, we'll jump straight into that. So, yeah, starting with the mistrades. So, I'm going to move over to my trading journal. Amazing. So, we've moved over to the trading journal over here. Obviously, when it comes down to mistrades, I try my best to put them in here. However, not always the case. So I've actually only been able to input 2 of the mistrades. There is probably 2 more that I haven't really inputted yet, but I will add them in there shortly later. So starting off with US 500. So with the US 500, essentially this is the mistrade for me. So I'll just open this up, make it a little bit wider. There we go. So so if this doesn't make sense to you, don't worry. If you go over a couple of my other videos, it will slowly start to piece together, but I'll kind of explain it as much as possible. So here's the daily chart where we have a daily high area which we haven't quite tapped into fully, but there was a near point just there which we did tap into, and at that point then, when we had the rejection of this expanding, I was looking for a potential push down and continuation to the downside. Looking at it on the 4-hour over here, we could see that, we correctively started to push up and then we just aggressively pushed back down. This was an area where this could become something larger to push high, which I think was definitely a strong possibility. However, if that was the case, I was looking for I wasn't looking for this to test this low so many times, and given the structure, I was looking for the short anyway. So drilling down to the 1-hour, we could see that we started to squeeze, but we started to break below as well. So at that point there, I was kind of evaluating, okay, maybe on the lower time frames I could see a good entry for this. And then going to the 15-minute, we had this like squeeze, and we were seeing this across the board with a lot of the indices as well, and it was definitely looking like a strong short position. So it was a phase line entry on the close of the candle outside, and that was to just mitigate the risk at the top there. And basically it pushed low, then I was aggressive with management, and it didn't quite tap me out, but I'm assuming with spreads it would have taken me out. So I kind of just called it a day, because as we started pushing away, I just kind of put it above this area here, and it did come back and pull up and tap into it. So it is what it is, and yeah, I called it that. If not, it probably would have been a little bit more, but once again, it's a mistrade. Most probably I would have been more aggressive with it. Might have been out somewhere around about here, who knows. So that's basically covering the US dollar mistrade for me. It was a trade on the 23rd, so it's a few days ago. Not quite sure if I did cover it in the video, but that is that. And then going back into there, we can see now we have the Germany 41. Now the Germany 41 was still running, and then only today it managed to take me out where I was planning to manage my trade. So we can see here on the daily, once again, we tapped into the high. We actually broke above it, which is phenomenal. And historically, we've tapped into this previously and sold off dramatically. And we're looking at similar sort of price action, but hopefully more aggressive this time. On the 4-hour, we can see that we had a retrace up there. We pushed down. We had this flag, which I wasn't inclined to take. We saw this on the weekend, this sort of area, and it wasn't something I was looking for. I was waiting for more of a push down to clear that price, a flag in this area. But then as we sat here, we created one just below it, which you can see more refined. And I think this was much more for more beautiful trade. We can see on the hourly, that was taken on the phase line because we had 2 bottoms, and then it was basically pushing back up. Happy to set it at that point. There was more than enough on the hourly for me to take that position. And then 15 minutes, just for refinement, I wouldn't have taken a position on the 15. We can see that it aggressively started to push down. At that point there, locked in profits over here, and then this was the end off result. So as we started to aggressively push down here, we were running roughly around about 7 to 8%. That's when I was thinking of being more aggressive. Had I not been aggressive, perhaps maybe I could have still been in the trade, but at the same time, I didn't want to sit in the market for any larger sort of pullbacks in this area. So I was happy with that. So that was basically that. Now, obviously the title of the video, I did put 40+%. There is a very good reason for that. So this trade was 8.3% in total, which I think is a very good position in itself, especially for the anticipation from mapping out the Friday to what we were looking at now. And I think if we, I don't have it on here. Okay. Yeah, if we look at the forecast we had from the weekend, it kind of works in well with what we were looking for. And I think that's as well just shows, planning and preparation, being proactive is a very strong thing. So I'll just quickly jump onto my Sunday market breakdown so you can actually just see what the forecast was in comparison to this. Wicked. Okay, and let's just go to May 22. Here we go. So Germany 40, which was over here, and I'll open that up for you. Yes. Okay, cool. So we can see JP225. Nope. Let's go back up and oops, what's happening there? Germany 40, there we go. So we were tapping into this on the weekend as we come in, and we were just looking for the push down and a flag. So this is one of the reasons why anticipation is good. Look, we didn't quite get it there. We actually got it sitting on the low there, but just below, it's still valid. It still came from a strong impulse on the high time frame, and essentially that was it. And then we had, we had a lot of different forecasts this weekend. We didn't quite get all of them, but this is the sort of preparation that comes in with being prepared for the market, being proactive, being ready when other people are not ready. Imagine, you're going to go for a marathon race. Are you going to stretch before you go for your marathon race? Are you going to do your sort of warm up, meditation, whatever it takes to get you in the mindset? These are the sort of things that will compound and eventually make you better and better. But anyway, moving on from that, let's move on to the massive position, which was obviously one that has a good story behind it. So we're just going to move straight onto that. And it was on my watch list. Yep, Euro New Zealand. So this is the big position. I think the thing about the missed position was it's basically bounced off here at the bottom, and we were looking for it to at least come to this point here as a criteria for minimum criteria, but I was really banking on it aggressively pushing up here, which we did get, and then we essentially just bounced mini double bottom there. We pushed up, created a nice little squeeze there, which I'll show you in a second, and then we actually had another opportunity before we went. But if we go to the 15-minute, which is more than enough, we can see that the flag was here. This is obviously one that I've covered throughout the week, so some of you who have been watching the videos would already know this. But if you're new to this video, you'll see here, this is the position. It was taken with roughly around about 19 pip stop loss, but you could have squeezed in the tighter stop loss on that for sure. Just positioning would have had to be a risk. And yeah, it's running around about 24% there. I think the one I would have really looked at was roughly around about here. Would have definitely squeezed in around about 10. And yeah, you would have been looking at somewhere around about 43%. That's the monster position there in itself. But then also we're not, we shouldn't forget that we actually have another position over here as well. So as we'd see it over here, we'd have our section, and that would be it really. It'd be a 10% position there, 11%. But the good thing about it is you'd still be in the trade, number one, and you'd have more than enough room to manage it from around about here is where I would probably put my stop, and you'd be running about 5. So would you leave 5%? Oops, that's incorrect. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, around about there. So if it's a case of 11% to locking in 8.5, I'm more than happy to have 8.5% locked in. I think having 8.5% locked in there is really good, really good. And you've got the potential now for this to just keep going. Remember, this is your second position. You've got your first one over there, which was your aggressive, and then you've got this one, and this one can run up 27%. If we're looking at the first position over here, this has the potential to run you all the way near to the hundreds. That's phenomenal. I mean, you'd be waiting some time. You'd probably be out of the market somewhere around about here. But even so, taking a 40-30% position in a matter of, let's say, 2 days, You know, that's big portfolio growth. So anyway, these trades don't always come, they come every now and again. It was just one in anticipation, but yeah, even so, that was just a major mistrade for me. So moving forward, still very happy about it. I think it's a really good thing that you're able to just notice these things, be able to capture them, and there'll be a time and day where I do take that 40% trade, and then you'll see me making a video about the 40% trade. So yeah, that's basically it for the missed trades. So if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.